Hi! Dragon's Dogma 2 is releasing like now-ish. And I wanted to talk about some of the amazing details that are in the game, some of the things that I'm really excited about that set it apart from other games that I'm really excited about. The game is right around the corner and I cannot wait any longer, but I must. So if you're a fan of Dragon's Dogma 2 and you're really excited, leave a like at the least and a sub at the most. That would be awesome. Thank you. Let's go.
Wanna be a renegade? Red wolf. Red wolf renegade. Red wolf renegade.
First thing I wanted to talk about is the map size, and straight from the director's mouth himself, he says, quote, "I don't want to go too far and make people think I'm exaggerating, but we've placed items on the map and figured out ways to guide the player's eye so that there aren't any moments when they feel bored. This is something that other action games often do as well, and one of the basic elements in such games is the ability to see your destination while being unsure of how to get there, moving from scene to scene." He said it's kind of like climbing a mountain. When we climb mountains, there were times when the closest way to the summit was a straight line there, but nobody takes those routes. Everyone takes past that circle around the mountain, so we talk about why they did that instead of using some other route. And the answer to that is that it looks tough. It's not that you want to go, but you can't. It's that you don't even consider taking that route to begin with. That's the kind of thing we talked about, saying that instead of creating a map that lets you go anywhere you want, placing areas that players won't want to visit on, it will let us decide where we want to focus on while not making the map feel any less free, because users will avoid those other places, just like the mountain we were climbing. And this is really exciting to me because with the big open world, you're gonna have moment-to-moment entertainment and things to discover without just having a big, vast open world that you can go left, right, up, down, sideways. But the map is still very open just while taking linear paths to get from area to area. And one thing that Dragon's Dogma 1 did very well, that might be controversial, is the lack of fast travel. Itsuno even talks about how the lack of fast travel, it makes you want to discover things organically rather than just teleporting from place to place, and I think this is really good. The majority of open world games nowadays are just so oversaturated with fast travel points, and by 20 hours in, you are just boom, 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 boom. You are just all over the map, teleporting everywhere, and I think that this really gives the player some sort of sense of adventure. But there are different ways to travel. There is the addition of ox carts, something that we saw in the first Dragon's Dogma, I almost said the first Mass Effect. Can you imagine? Ox carts are something that you can use to travel with, sort of allowing yourself to sit back, let the ox take you along certain paths of the world. Itsuno continues. Just give it a try. Travel is boring? That's not true. It's only an issue because your game is boring. All you have to do is make travel fun. That's why you place things in the right location for players to discover, or come up with enemy appearance methods that create different experiences each time, or force players into blind situations where they don't know whether it's safe or not 10 meters in front of them. I agree. And speaking of traveling, this comes straight from the Dragon's Dogma 2 website, so I can read some of this about how the days and nights work in Dragon's Dogma. I remember in Dragon's Dogma 1, nights were very dangerous because the nighttime is thick and dense and scary. And when the nighttime came upon you, you better have a lantern lit, and you better have oil to light that lantern. Yes, you literally have to do that, which again makes traveling in the world without having to teleport all over the place feel much more meaningful. As in the real world, time is constantly passing, and night eventually comes. The night is shrouded in deep darkness, and without a source of light to illuminate your surroundings, finding your way will be a challenge. You will want to be well prepared for the perils cloaked by the dark of night. If you find a campsite, you may choose to camp out for the night to alleviate fatigue and chat with your allies. Something else that they wanted to throw in there just to make the traveling feel more fun, I guess, and make it feel real. Like, you're not just going to be running around forever without actually getting tired, since there is no fast travel. So yeah, you can literally set up a camp and rest. From what I understand, the more that you travel without camping, you will eventually start to get fatigued, and it will take a bit of your stamina and health down to a new maximum, which will give you a chance to talk with your allies and do cool things like resting in a camp can fully restore the party's health and recover from any ailments. As the party is in a safe zone, which is away from the dangers of the dark night, they recover their health as they spend the rest of the night at the camp. Another thing to do while camping is cooking, a feature which allows you to grill a type of meat. Is it just meat though? And I'm assuming that this will work like something similar to Monster Hunter or Final Fantasy 15, where you eat to get buffs. So it's really cool that they're incorporating that into this game. There are lots of activities to do in the camp, such as chatting with your allies to strengthen your bond with them, and you can also avoid deadly enemies that are more powerful during the night. That's right, nighttime is scary. You'll be able to travel with one player-created pawn and up to 2 others created by other players. These downloaded pawns will come with all of their experience from other players' adventures, meaning they may come equipped with gear you've yet to find or provide useful information about quests that they've been through that you have yet to complete. And it seems like in Dragon's Dogma 2, the pawns are much more informative for the player, pointing things out, sort of serving as a UI element. Sort of like how in Ghost of Tsushima we had in-game UI guiding the player with the wind. So in Dragon's Dogma 2, your pawns may say, hey, this is a dangerous area, we may want to look out for enemy type A, enemy type B. And you're like, how do you know that? Well, it's because they've been there before with other players. So it might be kind of fun to get with your friends and ask them what type of pawns they'll be making, because they might have a pawn that they're creating that you might want to take along on your adventures and vice versa. Another cool thing that the pawns are able to do in this game is actually do translation. If they have the Woodland Wordsmith specialization, they will be able to translate Elvish speech or text. So you can't just run up to the elves and just understand them. You will need a pawn that speaks Elvish to speak Elvish for you. NPCs. Players will encounter a ridiculous number of NPCs who can give side quests and build relationships with your Arisen. Itsuno told IGN he wanted to create properly detailed NPCs who move throughout the world in their lives irrespective of what the player is doing. Some NPCs can even grow to like or dislike the player depending on your actions. Itsuno provided the following example. If you find a pair of friends, hitting one will cause the other one to get mad at you too. Or if you do something nice for a child, the parent might thank you and like you more as well. Itsuno added that NPCs may also get into fights with each other if another NPC relationship with the player threatens theirs. A player who grows close to you might come over to your house to play, but if they meet another character who's done the same thing, a fight might break out. Romance! There will be romanceable NPCs that might even fight for the Arisen's affection, which almost seems like a jealousy system. Romanceable characters will include almost all NPCs with names, with your choices then impacting these characters. 4 romance options that are intertwined with the campaign, and of course, quests, straight from the Dragon's Dogma 2 website. Yeah, travelers, merchants, soldiers, and other folk go about their daily lives, preoccupied by their own objectives and motives. They all exhibit different emotions. At times, they may lead you to a quest by approaching you and asking for a favor. If a pawn with knowledge of your current quest accompanies you, they can guide you on your way. In addition to the main story objectives, you can receive a variety of quests by speaking with the inhabitants of this world and deepening your relationship with them. Of course, it's up to you, the player, to accept the quest or to make use of the pawn's guidance. There is so much in Dragon's Dogma 2 that I'm excited for. These were some of the highlights that I couldn't stop thinking about, especially the camping and the open world and just giving you freedom to go and do whatever you want, however you want, all the time. Let me know down in the comments what you're excited for in Dragon's Dogma 2, and if you've never played the first one. I think that Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be the next Elden Ring. Seriously, I think it's going to take over the world, and I'm really excited for it. If you're excited for Dragon's Dogma 2, leave a like at the least and a sub at the most. Thank you all so much. I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.